say, "Hi, Ali, how are you?"
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm always good when I'm speaking with you. You know that. And we've got a change in the weather as well. So summer is upon us. It's knocking at the door. And of course, when that happens, we know that it means the school holidays are nearly upon us as well. And I think when it comes to employees and children and recognizing things that might be impacting them, summer holidays for children and mental health are things that can sometimes go hand in hand. And what would be great is just to spend a couple of minutes, if you could, helping us understand what parents should look out for during school holidays around things that might be impacting their children, but they're not openly talking about it.
I think it's twofold, really. I mean, summer holidays for some children, fantastic. It's unstructured. It's free time. For other children, that lack of structure can cause issues and it can make them anxious because they need to know exactly what they're doing at every part of the day. Depending on your age of the child and how you're set up, obviously it's not your summer holiday, so you're probably still at work. So supervision comes into it as well. Are they where you think they are? Are they doing what you think they're doing? So there's all of that to look at. But when we're looking about, are you worried about your child? It's always good. You're the parent. You know your child better than anyone. So if there's any difference, any change in their behaviour, then you should go, what's that about? Definitely,
Mm.
definitely. But what you need to be mindful of is, and we all do it all the time, is our brain does not like gaps. And if our brain, for example, is looking at our child and going, that's interesting, he's staying in his room, what's that about? That question, what's that about? That's a gap in the brain, and your brain needs to fill it in. Now, the only way it can do that is by past experience, either personally experienced or things you've heard and learned, and your brain goes off on one to fill that gap in. Oh, they're up in their room on their own because they're doing something dodgy on their computer, or because they're taking drugs, or because, I don't know, they've had a big bust up with their partner. So you'll start predicting what this could be. And what a lot of parents do as well, it's a very subconscious thing, they predict against their own personal background and beliefs. So it might be
Mm.
that at some point in your past, you spent time in your room because you were being bullied at school or maybe online, and you hid away and
Mm.
you didn't tell anyone. So immediately parents go into that, and rightly so. Better safe than sorry is my words of wisdom here. But the thing to look out for, has something changed? Is this a one-off change? Has something happened that you're aware of? Has there been any change in what I call the environment, school, home, friends, anything like that, family, that might have impacted them? But it's about having that conversation, which is easier said than done, because if it's something a child doesn't want to talk about, they're not going to, certainly not with you, the parent, for a myriad of reasons. Teenagers, even more fun. But I would suggest that if you're going to try and have those conversations, don't ask them, why are you staying in your bedroom, for example? Ask them, what's making you stay up there all day? Or how is being in there rather than out in the sun helping you right now? By
Mm.
changing your language slightly from why, because that just puts you in a loop, and it's because I want to, because I want to. Just go what and how, because then you have to go inside and answer it. And you know your kid, watch when they answer. So don't predict, but yeah, be alert. You're their parent. You'll know if something's different.
That's a really good point. So what's the difference then between a teenager that wants some space and a child that's struggling with their mental health? How
I
do we
think
recognize that?
the difference is noticing the difference. So if
Mm.
up until, I don't know, 2, 3 weeks ago, they were out with their friends, or you could hear their music playing upstairs, or they were not coming home when they should have done, that's their normal behaviour. If that behaviour
Mhm.
has changed, then you want to look twice. So it's the difference that makes a difference. Is this normal for my son or daughter? It may well be. I remember one woman really, really concerned. A son spent all of his time up in his room alone. And when we drilled down, the reason she was so concerned was because she did, for some of the reasons I mentioned earlier. When I actually spoke to him, He was just quite an insular chap who just liked time on his own. And the only time he was left alone when his bedroom door was shut, because Mum was worried what he was up to on a physical level because he was that age. And he knew she'd leave him alone. So that's why he stayed up there. It was the only safe place, that or the bathroom. So it's a fine line. But if something has changed, if you've noticed a difference in their behaviour, there's a reason. All behaviour serves a purpose. And any change, just look twice, but don't ask why, and don't tell them what they should be doing. Ask, what's going on for you right now? How come you're staying up here all the time?
I think that's a really good message for all of us as well, isn't it? Because if we see behaviours changing in ourselves, sometimes it's just good to ask the question, what's changed for me? Is there something going on that I need to be aware of? So I think that's a really good piece of advice. The other thing I'd say as well is, you mentioned, of course, that while it's school holidays for the children, it isn't necessarily for the parents. Parents are still at work. But there is a period of time often that you are with your children a little bit more. So you do find time to go on holiday, or you do find time to take some time off work because mum or dad is saying, you know, I need to go into work. You need to spend time with the children from either side. So for one parent, it might mean that this is a time that they've got to spend with their children that they wouldn't normally see those things happening. And I think that potentially could shine a light on things that the one parent has seen that the other one hasn't before. Does that mean that the parents can work together? Should they be communicating more around what they see because they're noticing new things?
Absolutely. And you've heard so many parents say, oh, thank God the school holidays are over. The teachers can deal with it again. If you spend more time with anyone, whether it's your children, your partner, or anything, the number of people that are retired, and all hell breaks loose. They're not used to spending that time together. You're going to see things and you're going to spot things. But if you're the parent, for example, that is spending time with the children, and something about the way they react or the way they respond is something you don't normally see because maybe the wife deals with it or the husband deals with it, then yeah, that's a conversation you need to have, because we need joint up parenting. But you need to be really mindful that that is a conversation, and it's not an attack. And it's like, you know, when I asked them to do, he said this, and this. It's not okay. And the wife might say, oh, the husband, oh, I get that all the time. Well, that's not okay. But then that's a conversation that, yes, they need to have. But it needs to be a conversation, and they're coming together with how they're going to back one another up and support one another to change something that they both don't appreciate, that one might have been putting up with, but the other one's like, well, no, I don't think so. They're going to work together. And you don't always see that with working patterns and shifts and what have you.
That's such a good point. And you see it everywhere, don't you? I see it with my own children where, you know, maybe I've been at work and not been with the children as much as my partner has been. And then you don't notice these things going on. So when you come home and the kids are saying, oh, I can't do this, and you go on, I'll let you do it. And you end up conflicting with the messages that that your partner's been given. So I think that kind of communicative bit is super important. Something I want to ask absolutely here is something that I think a lot of parents might struggle with, and that is that they, as you've just described, notice something, or they've got a niggle, and they know that something's going on. They've asked, you know, is everything okay? What are you doing this for? Would it not be better coming outside or spending some time with us? If they're just not giving anything, if you know something's wrong but they're not communicating, and the parent needs some help, what do they do? Where do they go? Who do they speak with?
Okay, again, if it's standard 101, that when you ask your teenager what's wrong or how come you're stuck up in your room and you just get a grunt, if that's normal, that's normal. Okay, that's just a teenager being a teenager. But if you're concerned, then what you need to do is highlight it. Don't let it go, because, as I said, better safe than sorry. And what we recommend is just reach out. So either have a chat with one of us, and we'll ask questions that will make you look at it in a certain way, so we can between us see whether or not there is something different there that we need to act on. and then we can help you and strengthen you and give you the communicative skills to deal with that. Or actually, if it, it turns out, I think there is something. Now you've asked me that question, you're right. It could, he hasn't mentioned it could be, then we can work with your child and get to the bottom of it and help them through. And again, as you've said, if you're with an EAP that has an organization like us that works with kids and teens, use them. It's free. Why wouldn't you? Don't sit there and struggle. Just pick the phone up and have a conversation. It could be that a quick conversation, it's happened where I've had a quick conversation with mum. She's like, oh, and I've calmed mum down, got her to see that actually she's projecting herself onto it, and got her to recognise her tone and pitch and the pace when she goes in there and yells and screams at him because she's scared and worried. And just by adjusting certain things, you can really, really sort out an awful lot of communication issues. And if that doesn't work and you're genuinely worried, then it's your child. They have to do, as you say, book them on for a conversation with one of us. We haven't lost one yet. They'll want to talk to a bloody therapist. But believe me, we're not just normal therapists, and they do want to talk to us, and we end up talking about all sorts of things, but we get round to the issue. But don't suffer in silence. We're here. Reach out.
I love that. And I love the fact that the way you communicate with kids is so unusual and so impactful. That you say, we've not lost one of the kids so far, that they all want to engage with you. They do. And I think it makes a massive difference. We talk a lot in the world of counselling about matching, making sure that you've got the right counsellor or the right therapist to be able to deal with the issues that you've got. With children, that's super important. And they've got to make sure that they're talking to the right people about the right stuff.
At the right level.
And
so we do this thing called, we do this thing called step into the model of the world, which means literally step into their world, try and see it from their perspective. And in any relationship, whether it's therapy, client relationship, friends, whatever, the thing that gets that conversation going is getting them talking about themselves and talking about something they love. So do your homework. So we encourage parents, when they want us to work with a kid or a teen, tell us a bit about them. What are they into? So, for example, I spent most of this morning learning about toilets. Why? Because I'm going to be working with an autistic lad later, and his fixation is toilets. He knows dates, times, shapes, everything. And I don't need to be an expert, but I need to know enough that I'm not this therapist that's on because there's something wrong with him. I'm just someone he can chat to. And while we're chatting, how can I help you, mate? What's going on?
Every bit of me, Ali, is resisting asking you for something about toilets now. So we're not going to do that.
I'm good. I'm the go-to.
Don't do it. Don't do it. What I do want to do, though, is kind of finish this off by making one point, and that is reaching out to managers. So if you're a manager or supervisor or somebody that is listening to this, and you've got responsibility for people within your organization, what I would ask of you is that you look for the signs within your employees as well, because employees, parents don't come into work and talk about the problems that they're having at home with their children often. Sometimes it's that slight change in behaviour. It's coming in late, it's leaving early, it's being quiet when they're normally the life and soul, or being the life and soul when they're normally quiet.
Yeah, there'll be something.
When you notice something as a manager, don't sit on it. Ask the question, is everything all right? And if you get into the conversation that actually you're really struggling with what's going on at home with your children or what have you, reach out to your EAP. Get them to reach out to your EAP. If they're frightened about picking up the phone, ask them, is it okay if I give them a call and get somebody to give you a ring? Because sometimes the most difficult thing in any issue is asking for help. Exactly right. And when you know that somebody like Ali is out there to help you, your employees, and their families and children, then why wouldn't you do it? You as a manager know that there is support out there available for you. So please be alert to it. Recognize that for the next 6 or 8 weeks, depending, because it could be longer than that, because you've got Scotland go off at a different time, England go off at a different time, Northern Ireland, as does Wales. So the whole of the UK means that you've got a spread of about 10 plus weeks where there are potentially things going on at home that you as a manager need to be aware of. Be aware of it, know what help is out there, and reach out for it if you need it.
Throughout history, the only time things have got out of hand is when people don't talk. So, yeah, reach out. We're a free service. Why wouldn't you?
Ali, it is always great speaking with you. And today has been no exception to that. Have a great day, and we will see you again at our next, I'd call them fireside chat if it wasn't the middle of summer right now.
Yeah, but that's okay.
We'll call it swimming pool chat.
Okay.
No, maybe not. All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you again.
Anyway,
thanks Ali, for your help.
Take care. See you soon.
You too. Bye. That was great. You're so good at this. Was that okay your side?
Yeah, I think so. I got the point across. When in doubt, ask. But
yeah,
you know.
Did Caroline hear it? Was she all right with it?
She's clapping like a baby seal over in the corner, so I presume it was okay. Was that okay?
It was really good. Yeah, it was excellent. I thought you did really well.
Thank you.
Yeah. There you go.
We're not bad at this. We're not bad at
No,
this.
I've done it before.
Yeah. Cheers, Carl.
I'll get this